today. Hopefully you could see the what I'm eating at the same time. Has to be like a different angle. Although here I fit, has to be like a little lower so that you see me doing what I'm doing. So here I got, you see the spoon here? We got a huge block of ricotta, salata. I got crostini, and we got Genoa salami. And this is how you cut it. It's not cutting it in half. People take Parmesan and butcher it. If it was Parmesan and it was hard, it's like chipping a rock. You go, but in this case, you basically do a little like that. See? Simple slices. Thin, thin slices so that the ricotta, it's like a topping for the crostini. So today I had a pretty profitable day in the stock market and in my job. I cashed out $10 today. I did a couple things today. I got my Wells Fargo card delivered or heading to my mail. I got my Coinbase card headed to my mail. Um, I made $10 working, basically finishing the $7 that were there. The total 10 today, plus $1 bonus for the month of September. You see what I'm doing, right? See this? Like that? Yeah, give me a second. I gotta chew this. So did that. Made $582 on the stock market today. It works pretty well. The trend line code that I did yesterday works pretty efficient. It stays there. Instead of following Enigma, if resistance is on the actual first line, not the secondary, the tertiary, the fourth, the fifth, the breakout line or a particular color. Now, if resistance is a particular color and price is horizontal with it, bang, it's very likely it's going to keep going. And it's the same logic with support. Support was turned cyan in the morning, but sort of stopped being cyan in the morning. And they ended up bleeding badly. I was sitting there looking at price dump a full dollar right before 3 o'clock, just bang, and then rejecting at Saturn, literally rejecting in Saturn between Jupiter and Saturn rejection. I mean, yeah, rejection on the 2/3 line, rejection, rejection, rejection. And then for a moment I say, yeah, maybe at 345 it might climb a little higher. This after I'd secured the money, the bag today, and it didn't. Just rejected. Everything was against it. Uh, moving averages first, then Bollinger Band North, basically Bollinger Band 30 and 50 upper, rejected it, rejected the price. Price was staying in Jupiter end of the day. You know, what I was waiting today was basically an intrinsic value strategy that I had already applied earlier in the day for, not early in the day, but around 2:30 or 2:20 or some shit like that. So at 3 o'clock, I was expecting time series to turn all green and price do the same thing it did Friday, which basically turned all green and sort of melted up to close. But it did not. It sort of just stayed really red all day since that cross on resistance. It was red the whole fucking day. really red. It wasn't like a normal red color. So after working, doing what I did on a computer, I started doing the FVG code, and the FVG code that tried working didn't work. So I decided to take it to the professional. I'm like, hey, yo, you're God. Hi, God. How you doing? I spoke to God today, and God was like, are you going to continue using ChatGPT? I'm like, that shit's horrible now. It's basically like typing for me. If you're not really specific in what you're asking for, it's gonna give up. It's gonna give out a bullshit code. Like, and I give him the example: plot arrow equal, define arrow equal variable one, or basically define arrow equal variable one. And you tell Chad, you tell AI, hey, continue what you were doing with this. Do arrow one variable B, and continue what you were doing with the rest of the variables, and it starts making mistakes. And these are, like I said yesterday in the video, these are very simple mistakes that AI is just making you waste time. So end of day, God Himself decided to provide me with a fair value gap strategy. And right at the end of the day, I confirmed it. It was there, and it rejected. And then right at close, when the bell rang, it spiked. And then it wasn't an FBG gap because it was there, but it was prevalent there. It's basically FBG, a little nipple, basically a little bit of the next candle, a nipple, and the wick inside the FBG zone. It continued going down. Then 3 o'clock, it went up. So I'm gonna continue doing that. I'm gonna utilize that as an intra trade, intra Enigma or micro scale strategy. Because the problem is that Enigma works beyond $1 daily range. So Enigma is good. It's really good identifying really ginormous fucking moves in the market very easily. Morning, you're at $2. If the price crosses $3 and you're looking at Enigma, dollar in the middle, three Enigma, it goes through three, you go long, you're gonna make money with Enigma. The same thing if it goes below on the first two candles in the morning, just where that resistance line was today, that sort of took a little bit because the market went up and then went down, then stayed sort of in the middle of earth, then went down, resistance pushed it lower, the resistance line turned cyan, and then from there just all the way down. So I gotta be eyeball that cyan to make long-term trades during the day. Fuck the noise, basically, fuck the up and down noise. If I see trend lines turn Buster blue, hold on, I'm gonna enter fairly long trades during the day. Something I shouldn't be doing because obviously I'm intrinsic value. I'm making 500 in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And once again, options today were cheap as hell. We were at dollar per delta amount at a moment like that. $25, 25 delta. You just imagine the possibilities there. Think of the possibilities right there. I dropped 1,000 on that. That's why I made $500 today. So I'm thinking, as I finish the trade, I'm like, yeah, I'm sort of trading irrationally here. I shouldn't be risking $100. Hold on, I gotta chew. All right, so I shouldn't be risking $1,000, but that's based on data range. That's the only way you're gonna make money. If data range is $1.75 in the whole freaking day, based on noise, up, down, up, down, up, down. You go with a single option contract of $500, you're not going to make money on it. You're going to enter incorrectly. As a result, you got to reduce noise. You got to intro. You got to go in full power. You got to take advantage of a single uptrend, and that's it. Because if not, you're not going to make any money. Even with $500 in options, you're not going to make any money, especially when it's low data range. And that's what I've been focusing on basically. All the codes since Enigma have been trying to cover the bases between the deflections and reversals, basically the things that I got now, Bollinger, SMA, blah, 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 to ensure that I see when it's going to reject and it actually happens in addition to having a two-thirds line there. Like I said it at the end of the day, price crossed above Jupiter, not above Saturn. It got to one upper Bollinger Band, I think it was the 30th. It rejected, uh, you know, the two-thirds line, pushed it even lower outside the circle, and price had to literally grind on the curvature of the two-third line to escape. With some type of precision, only someone like me could create real precision. I told the guy, and I told God and said, "Yo, I got this. I got this." And then I told another forum, I was like, "Yeah, I got this. I made $20,000 in 2 weeks. I would like to compare the original with mine because I think if this is 100% right, this is not going to miss. Enigma is not going to miss. Enigma is going to tell you it's going to reverse right here. Don't trade right now. You're gonna know it. Enigma went down, or you're gonna go short now. You better go short unless there's unless it's an uptrend or whatever. That basically tells you things to do and not to do. And if you continue covering the bases, you got a well constructed format of how to do it. So tomorrow I'm gonna be an FBG trader, which is a really popular strategy for people who make a lot of money. FBG is what the kids are using. That's what you see. If you see a kid trading in the classroom, those videos on TikTok that kids be trading in the classroom or whatever, making $1,000, they're using FBG. So tomorrow I'm gonna see what FBG is about. If I find an unusually large candle, I'm gonna use it as support and resistance, and I'm gonna enter the trade to see what happens. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go for it. Obviously, with discretion, with support resistance, with Bollinger Bands, with SMA lines, with everything. The big picture. You can't just trade and use it like if everything else was in vacuum. You got to sort of know that you're doing something, and you have to see if you could do it now or you cannot do it based on how much money you may make or what obstacle is in the way. It was good. Good day. It's a good start to the Monday. Yesterday, I had a little difficulty sleeping because they keep taking my spot where I sleep. I went to the wooden steps, which is usually a very warm spot because there's wood. It's like an L box, so I could stick my body in the crevasse of the wood. I put my back in there, and it's a really warm spot to sleep in. You get really warm there based on the convection capacity of actual treated lumber. So I was laying there. I put my phone out. Must have been less than 5 minutes, and there was nobody there. It must have been less than 5 minutes. Cigarette. There's a girl sleeping on the other side, covered with blankets. Smoked something and turned it off because I was checking her out. Like, stop smoking. I move every time I see that someone is near me. I move. Before that, I was on the benches, and I woke up and there's someone on the benches. So I'm like, I'm gonna get out because I'm not gonna crowd. I'm not gonna crowd a particular area to get the cops or anyone involved. I want to maintain a low profile, but people who don't want to maintain a low profile, junkies, drug addicts, actual homeless people, like to congregate. They sleep in the general area. They want to be all together, sandwiched, feet to feet, 5 feet from each other, and I'm not down with that. I'm a grown fucking man. I'd rather I'm by myself. Like, you're, you hear, I'm out. The second I wake the fuck up and I notice that someone's close, I'm out. Why? Because A, B, C, D, E, L, all the things that I've experienced since being in the city, in the subway system with this particular race, they're not going to change. I said it last night. And I'm pretty sure the person that was sleeping on the bench moved and sat on another bench. because they just want to be sleeping when I'm sleeping. It's like a psychological thing with them. I'm like, yo, it's gonna take 65 years for you guys to evolve and become civilized. I can't. It's like you got to me, my psychology. You guys are a bear. You guys are a threat. Understand? You guys are a threat, actual threat, not like a threat. Now you guys are a box cutter, beating me while I'm asleep. You guys are an actual threat. You understand? And when you come up here and sleep next to me, I gotta move. See what I mean? I gotta move. I'm not gonna be stupid enough to stay sleeping where you are, so you could. I get so you think that I get accustomed of you sleeping next to me or whatever, and then do something stupid. So I move. So yesterday I was a little uncomfortable, and then from being uncomfortable, it was already sunlight. Not sunlight, but it was already gray, no sun. And I moved back to the bench, and then from maybe 7:50 to 10 o'clock, I woke up, got my energy drink in, and did what I had to do today. I'm doing pretty good in the stock market. I'm not gonna quit. Clothes for now are probably in a halt. That's basically the last thing that I could think about was FBG. So until the next idea, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep what I have. What I gotta do now is focus on the dividend portfolio. I gotta make a decision. I need a new one, and I gotta get rid of hard to borrow and try to make it a private thing. And it's gonna be really difficult to find companies in my price that pay 11 times a year, like the four that I have now that they're trying to short squeeze it. Why? Because Wall Street bets are a bunch of fucking pricks and cocksuckers. You understand? Wall Street bets a bunch of pricks and cocksuckers that all they give a fuck is a short squeeze, and they try to kill a company to then be profitable of it. That's all they give a shit. They think that the power of the collective to this, they use the power of the collective to almost destroy a company to create a functional or a fundamental reason of how price behaves in between certain price ranges, let's say support or resistance, to create a short squeeze based on short interest and lack of shares available. Basically force a company to increase its value for being over short the shit, for not having the shares or days to cover of the shares available. Basically, it's people that are shorting these companies knowing that they won't be able to pull their fucking money out until the party is over. You understand that? Hope that resonated in your conscience. That's Wall Street bets. And the companies that I selected got are right now on 17 days to cover, not six, not five like before. Days to cover doubled from three. The last time I caught it was like three into 16, 68 million shares in short. They basically destroyed both of the companies that I'm right now investing in on my dividend portfolio, hoping they go higher. Why? Because they're cheap. Why? Because they're retarded and they got a lot of money. That's what a retard would do with $1 million. Short 68,000 shares of a company, maybe 30 with his buddies, just to destroy my fucking science. Because what I did with those companies was really specific: beta, correlation, dividend payment, perfect negative correlation. What I a perfect price. I selected everything to build this portfolio to behave in a way that saves the most money as less risk possible, and the dividend itself is my actual gain from the shares? And they fucked it up. Why? Because they're retarded. They're retards with money. They're just people who want to destroy. They just want to destroy you. I have a lot of money. They want to inverse you. They're not into functional stock trading. They're into irrational inverse Jim Cramer. They're about memes. They're not about the real thing. And if you realize I'm about the real thing, and I made 20,000 in 2 weeks blindly, and it's been 2 days that I made 800, 400, 500 in another port. I'm basically growing. Any login that I got is growing by $1,000 every 2 3 days. I don't like them. I don't like them. Why? Because the they fucked up maybe half a month to maybe 2 months of full on work, investigation, uh, cross analyze, correlations, 52 weeks out, beta, inverse beta, positive beta, negative beta, or under one, relationships, prices, everything. They fucked up everything so that they could have their ejaculation if a company decides to shoot higher than they are now. And both of them are up $5. It went from 12 to 15 and from 15 to 20. So things are looking good for the companies that I'm still holding, but I cannot repurchase because not only are they hard to borrow, thanks to them just wanting to short it or out of my price range. I basically fucked the whole idea of me having a perfect negative correlation after portfolio, of me having a no loss portfolio. They fucked that up for the premise of, oh, the squeeze, the short squeeze, because we're retarded. Oh, the squeeze. You understand? And they should be considered terrorists. If you're into destroying companies, you're destroying people's lives. And I hope that resonates in those people that like to short companies million per share or more. And small ones too, not big ones. I'm not saying, oh, you're going to short Apple because there's a big event. There's going to be negative earning report. Now, you take a fucking company that's nascent, that's brand new, it's worth $10, $12, and you buy 100 shares short, you're a piece of shit and you deserve to die. $12, 68 in short, you're a piece of shit. You deserve to get fucking shot. When you cash out, you deserve to die. With that big red tie and shit, thinking you fucking short squeeze, you deserve to get shot the second you cash those fucking shares out. And this is off top. Why? Because in their psychology, they're not seeing themselves as destroying value. I'm a doctor in business. My idea is creating value, creating worth. I build from nothing. They are about destroying things for a profit in a group to make it worse. 800 deep. I'm going to give the explanation again of what they did the last time. I had a way out the money option. I think it was a call contract, like 45, 50 days out. And it was a swing trade, basically waiting for price in a day candle to stop following the trend line and decide to gap down 20 points to where it belongs. A huge swing, $60 swing, 50 days to expiration. Excuse me. 50 days to expiration, 55 days to expiration, waiting for price that's grinding on resistance to drop for me to make my price. I exposed that I had that position to Wall Street Bets. What did they do? They liquidated the delta on that position. They made that position negative and more negative and more negative and more negative and more negative, and price hadn't moved. Price didn't even move. It was just grinding on resistance, and they made that they know technicals. They know what they are doing. They made the net worth of that single option negative and more 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 negative. And I asked myself, what did they make it more negative? And I checked volume on that specific option, 50 something odd days out, and from maybe 25 in volume, it grew to 800 volume. You see that? And when they do that, when you buy an option or you buy a single contract option, you shift its price by a certain fraction. You basically raise the price of the option, and then resistance lowers it down. 800 contracts tilted price to an extent that decreased, furthered the decline of the option. Basically, from zero, from normal to, from a break even so and so price, $600, $700 a negative, $800 a negative. By them knowing where I'm at and just buying another contract every time. Not 800 in bulk, but another one, another one, another one, another one. And every time you buy a contract, the price goes because obviously the explanation between bid and ask, the next person is going to have to buy higher and higher and higher. So if you're at a really, if you have a really conservative position in the options market and it's exposed to Wall Street bets, and you don't know what you are doing, you are going to lose money. Why are you going to lose money? Because they got more. They don't give a shit of what they don't give a shit about what they do. They know how to destroy you. You know, they know that if you're just gonna get maybe 20 contracts, 15 contracts going on, that they're gonna get 800, and they're gonna buy it every day for this type of fundamental event to happen. And price will be stable. Price is not gonna go up and down. Price is gonna grind all day, equal to resistance all freaking for maybe 7, 8 days until it decides to go down. And your option will be fucking destroyed if you expose what you have to those people. You can't expose what you have to those people because they'll destroy it. They're against you. Because in their motto is like, oh, when you win, someone else loses, and blah blah blah. And they're just gamblers. Gamblers. It sucks. So I gotta figure out basically starting a new dividend port. Hopefully I find the right price 11 months of the year, and immediately I'm gonna check shorts. I'm gonna get a short ratio immediately. How many cells are shorted? How many days to cover? Like what within a second. That's another. That's one of the fastest thing I'm gonna do once I find okay, $10, $12. Uh, let's say 0.60 beta correlated against my first pick. Check short interest. Short interest, so and so. Float shorts, the float that are shorts, the ratio and days to cover, like that. Why? Because God forbid they actually work at Charles Schwab, they know my position are going to destroy it too. Why? Because they're destroyers of wealth. It's the type of people that take $100,000 from other people, sell it, get another 100,000 from another person, destroy them, get another 50,000, $60,000 from another person, lose them. It's that type of mentality. What drug dealers do with stolen funds. It's not someone that's it's not someone's hard work money. It's just whatever, whomever's money. Scams, fraud. It's not good. It's just not good. So yeah, I might have another stream later on as I finish my ricotta with Genoa salami, or I might not. And if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's give it a few seconds before I close the stream.